Hey guys, how's it going? It's your Dokkan Tuber back with another video. Today we'll be continuing our series of the Rise of the Old Gods card review. Last time we did Demon Hunter. If you haven't checked that out, I would suggest that you go watch it. It's pretty interesting. And this one we're going to be looking at Druid. And yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, I hope you can do that. Like the video and comment, because if you comment, we'll definitely see it and try to implement your ideas in our videos. So starting off, you have Guess the Weight, 2-mana spell, draw a card, guess if your next card costs more or less to draw it. So this card, I think it's pretty good in Druid because let's say you have a lot of 10, 9 mana, a lot of high cost spells in your deck. You kind of know the next one, oh, it's going to cost less. So I think it's pretty consistent. I mean, on average, if you're a pretty good player, you'll be able to determine if and what your next card will cost. So I think it'll be pretty good. 2 mana draw 2 is great because we see cards even 3 mana draw 2. Arcane Intellect and Mage sees play, and having it for 2 mana is even better in Druid. Next card, Lunar Eclipse. One of the 2 eclipses, the other one is Solar Eclipse. You know how we eclipsing. And it's a 2 mana. Deal 3 damage to a minion. Your next spell this turn costs 2 less. This is similar to Dark Bomb and I think it's GVG for Warlock, but it goes face. But I think this is a lot better than that. It also makes your next spell cost 2 less. So it's kind of like a 0 mana deal 3 if you have another spell. For example, a good play would be on 4 mana. Play this, clear your opponent's board, and then play Overgrowth. So you don't lose the board, and you still be ramping up. You know we ramping. So I think this card's really good in Druid. It'll see play in most Druid decks, and it's amazing for discounting your spells and making sure you don't take too much damage from your opponent's minions. So this is the Solar Eclipse, 2 mana. Your next spell this turn casts twice. I can go on and on for how many good combos there are. With 6 mana, you have Overgrowth. You can go for Wild Growth, maybe Survival of the Fittest if you have Omu, and Garden Animals even. So there's just so many combos that you can do with this card, and it's just amazing how much value you can get out of it. So I think this is an excellent card for most Druid decks. Next up we have Faire Arborist, 3 mana 2/2, choose one, draw a card or summon a 2/2 Treant, corrupt, do both. Now 3 mana 2/2 draw a card, not great because you draw but then you lose the board. You don't really want to do that because in Druid you're not very strong with the board early game. Summoning the Treant is okay. I don't really think Treant's that good. I mean, it doesn't have enough draw or pressure to win games. If you just draw badly, you just have no chance. And then corrupting to do both. I mean, in Druid, the chance of corrupting, it's there, but it's really unlikely. This card is going to be clunky and not really useful in your hand, so I don't really like it here. Not a very good card. Now we got Moon Touched Amulet, 3 mana, give your hero +4 attack this turn, corrupt and gain 4 armor. Now I know I said the corrupt cards aren't good, but this one, with the armor and the 4 attack, I think it's really good. You can trade and add some health to yourself. I mean, when you trade, you're not going to take much damage because 6 armor is a lot, and 3 mana, your opponent probably won't have that many high health minions. So I think that this is a pretty decent card. I don't know if it's amazing. I wouldn't think so, but it'll see play in some Druid decks for sure. Next up we got Kiri, Chosen of Elune, the Druid Legendary, 4 mana 2/2. Not amazing stats, but you'll see his effect is pretty cool. Battlecry, add a Solar Eclipse and a Lunar Eclipse to your hand. So the one that does 3 damage and reduces the cost of your next spell by 2, and your next spell costs 2 less. So those cards are amazing, as we know, so that makes this card even better to add consistency to having those cards in your hand. And we've seen the Malagos Druid coming back. I mean, it's not very consistent, but it's really fun deck to try, and I think Kiri's really good because it just adds another one of the eclipses, I mean both the eclipses to your hand, which can help you control the board or ramp up or anything you need to do. So this is a really cool card, and I'm excited to see what it brings to the table. Now we got the second legendary, Graybow. You know, he's a treat. Look at him with all his Trinket lights and Christmas and stuff like that. That's a great Halloween costume if you guys want to try that. He's a 5 mana 4/6 Taunt. Death Rattle. Give a random friendly minion Death Rattle, summon Graybow. So, Graybow, sorry, I always say it wrong. I think he's good on your high end and token decks. I've even tried him out myself. He's not bad. The problem is you don't really draw him in 5 mana. It's a little high, but then you kind of want to have already won. I think he's okay, but nothing amazing. I mean, if you pull him with the free legendary or whatever, give him a try, but on average I don't think he's amazing. And yeah, he won't see too much play unless Token Druid gets a lot of buffs and, you know, more cards in the next expansions. I hope he's good, because you know how we treat, and he kind of reminds me of the Ents from Lord of the Rings, you guys know, Treebeard. But you know, hopefully this card's good, but right now I don't think he's that great, so yeah. And we got 7 mana, 4/4 Umbral Owl. Rush costs 1 less for each spell you've cast this game. So we've already seen so many new spells in Druid, and that means that this card will probably maybe cost, I don't know, 2 or 3, maybe 1 or even 0. And I think it's pretty good. I just feel like the stat line is really low. So by the time you play all those spells, he may not even kill anything. But if you're playing like, I don't know, Survival of the Fittest with all the different spells and different combos, he could be like, you know, an 8/8 or a 12/12. So that could be powerful. I don't think he's amazing, but you know, he's very nice to have in the Druid arsenal. I think he'll see some play, or he or she, you know. Owls, you never know. And then this one, 8 mana Cenarion Ward. Gain 8 armor, summon a random 8 cast minion. Now I was talking before about Solar Eclipse, not Lunar, and on 10 mana you can, you know, cast that and then get 2 8-drops and 16 armor, which is really good. And maybe even bloom into this when you have 6 mana. There's a lot of cool combos and different things you can do to cheat this out earlier, especially with your ramp cards. I think it's pretty good, but just the randomness of the 8-drop. There are a lot of 8-drops that aren't that good, but there are ones that are, so it's kind of, you know, you're rolling the dice and you play this. So I think it'll still see play. I just don't think that Druid is going to do too well, so this card, it'll be okay. It won't be amazing. And lastly, we got Fizzy Elemental. 9 mana, 10/10 Rush Taunt. And I think it's really important. This thing is an elemental, so you probably just won't play this in your normal Druid decks. Maybe you'll play it with the side quest. I forgot what it's called, but yeah. He could be good in like a Menagerie with N'Zoth. Because like if you summon this card, it's a 10/10 with Rush, it'll clear your opponent's board. I just don't see that kind of deck being good with Druid, because Druid, I don't know, you're not really focusing on Menagerie. You don't really have buff cards like Warrior does. I mean, we'll look at that. But yeah, I don't think that archetype is amazing. Maybe later on it will be. But for now, I feel like Druid is just good with all the spells and the ramp and that kind of stuff. So overall, I like the new Druid cards. A lot of them are cool. I just don't think they'll compete with the aggro decks like Demon Hunter, Hunter, Paladin, even the Evolve Shaman now. They're really cool cards and, you know, fun if you care about that aspect of Hearthstone, but for ladder purposes, I don't think they're amazing, but give them a try. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to like the video, comment if you have any cool ideas, and I'll see you guys next week.